On camera, guys, it's Lambo versus DnS next. In chat, it's Lambo DnS next. In chat again, Lambo DnS. On camera, again, Lambo DnS. And yet still! Guys, please. Please. We are in Lambo versus DnS. In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it is DnS. In the top right, as the blue Zerg, it is a Lambo. Does it bother anyone else that the clock is obnoxiously on the line of the gray thing? Like, I swear at one point in time, it was more in the middle. Vertically. More in the middle. Am I crazy? Maybe I am. Lambo says, psych! He's gonna take this base anyways. Takes his third as his natural. DnS still gets the slight mental victory of making Lambo do that, but does not get the victory of making Lambo try to get the natural, fail to get the natural, go to the third, fail to get the third, get the natural in their drone, delay his spawning pool, so on and so forth. Which is what I would have done, because I would have panicked. I think in early leagues, in leagues outside of pro, I completely understand why pro blocks are a thing. In professional games, especially some of the best, which we're watching right now, I'm always like, you know, when is it super duper effective to do the pro block? You know, and opposed, how to say? You know, I get the whole like you kind of get them off their game, but in terms of anything else that might have been a thing, like a depth harassment being more oh hello, that's not good. Oh, it's not me. It's all that's important. Anyways, like a depth harassment being more effective or oracle harassment being more effective, I just don't see it. You know. Very rarely have I seen, like, heard even pro gamers, like, you know, during Home Story Cup or something, mention that is why he lost the game. I think there was, oh man, it was a map in the last season's map where it was actually pretty brutal, because that was also during the 2-base all-in meta, that getting him to take the third instead of the natural was actually, like, directly affected how effective the 2-base immortal push was. But that's kind of like the only time I've really heard it do something really important. So I'm always curious, you know, ask more pros, more Protoss, like, what are you expecting when you do this? You just want to tilt them? And if they say yes, I'm going to be like, all right, that makes sense. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Goodbye, German stream. Goodbye. I think he was German anyways. Casting the German player. Germany versus Captain, France.
We are being hosted.
Let's not say anything about that. Thank you, generally not a nice person, for being a nice person and hosting me. Alright, so Stargate opener here from DnS, very standard. Goblin showing us some Stargate versus Terran is a little less standard than it once was, but, you know, still okay. BVZ, I mean, forget about it. Stargate all the way. 90% of the time. It's kind of back to that, too. We had our period with the Robo that no one really appreciated, and now we're back to just Stargate. We got ourselves a Phoenix. The Adept is doing its harassment, by the way. It's trying to take advantage. You know, no creep. Queen can't go into the front immediately. Queen certainly can't help, you know, bounce up and down. Not that it really could, even if this was the natural. But like I said, like, in the hands of a professional who are, you know, good at not getting tilted and good at controlling and good at predicting things, just don't say do very much. But I'm honing in on some very, very, very tiny things. Much more importantly is a follow-up to the Stargate. So Lambo had an Overlord without speed. No speed for Lambo. Get in there and obviously see a Stargate opener with the Phoenix, but I think also saw the Oracle popping out. And even if he didn't, it's a good guess. What's more important to see is not just the gas timings, which for the Stargate, I think the only gas timings of the Stargate is 3:30. Like, I think that's actually the only thing. But anyways, you want to see the Robo. You want to see what's coming down before that third Nexus. You want to see what's coming down in order as well. Robo, Twilight Council, Forge. Forge, Twilight Council, Robo. You kind of need all three eventually, but that's, the gist. And then, hey, it could be a 2-base follow-up Archon drop. More focus on getting the Archons out there. It's not. The Robo comes down. You can start Immortal production pretty quickly. Actually, yeah, I was going to say Observer first. And then Immortal production. Now you got your 400 minerals down on that Nexus. Got some Adepts to defend, and you have 2 Oracles to defend as well, or continue doing harassment. And Lambo, being generally a macro player, has gone for a lot of drones and not so many lings to actually try and do anything about that third base. Another freebie Overlord is found by the Phoenix. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. Adept's not going to stay at home to defend, but rather go out and try and catch the lings either out of position or just simply not enough of them, which I think both is true right now. Twilight Council and Forge are now on the way alongside a Warp Prism immediately after that Observer, so not going to bulk up that Immortal count first and foremost, but rather actually do some serious harassment with what? 2 Adepts? Warping more Adepts after these ones die? These ones do find that nice little pocket. The Queens are dealing with the harassment over here. DnS trying to get the best out of both attacks. Well, that was 3 Oracles. Oh, shit. I can't count. My bad. Anyways. But actually, for what it looked like, not a whole lot of lings. I guess Lambo made them kind of in the nick of time. That ended up not being so bad. Queens were in proper position. Lings got enough done. At least they stopped the Adepts from being able to focus fire freely on the drones, and only 4 drones go down. Now, DnS keeps all of his air units alive, all the expensive units alive, so that's really nice. And is going to do some serious harassment with them. This is going to be as most like trap as possible, right? Stasis trap, harassment, stasis trap, harassment, lift the Queen, harassment. But it's really difficult to do. Do not advise doing this stuff as a Babby Protoss player. You will die. It will not go well. Doubleization Scout into the main. Primarily, I would say the scariest thing would be a Spire, which, it scouts. But then, of course, also Roach Ravager completely. Ling Baneling. Ravager Baneling. Like, what's going on here? The answer, everything. Bailiness goes down. +1 melee is on the way. Not that DnS can know that. Spire is, in fact, on the way. What does DnS do to respond to this? He saw all options possible, yet nothing actually made quite yet. Except a handful of links. He sees the Roach Warren jiggling, but does that really mean you're going to make a lot of Roaches? Maybe enough to turn into a decent number of Ravagers, right? Oracle's not doing a great job of harassing. I mean, he's trying, but they're being deflected every which way, and one even goes down here. But not doing too much, just getting some scouting, seeing a 5th base. Seeing some pretty good creep spread. DnS once again going to send out his actual Phoenix this time to get some scouting done. Wants to see any mutas or any roaches coming across the map. Now, this is not a very big roach force, so I don't think DnS is scared quite yet. He's still maybe more like, okay, what exactly is it going to be? But how I brought up those Immortals? I was going to say, there's not many. There! Okay, he just had to move them out of the natural. He's at the Robo for a long time. He should have a couple of Immortals. And he does. 3 Immortals on the front line. Clog up that hole once you've got them out. That's what you want to do. Stasis Trap is not going to get put down. Oracle is going to live, however. Phoenix finding it another Overlord. Overseer. Storm's on the way. Archon count already growing. Defensively set up, ready and waiting for force fields if he needs them, but he really doesn't. Again, that was not a very large army that he saw with that Phoenix, so be prepared, but I wouldn't be too scared. And be a lot more concerned about why isn't he attacking with a huge army? What does it mean? Does it mean he's banking enough for 20 mutas immediately? Does it mean he's going into Hive? It's a Hive. Spoiler alert. And if it's a Hive with a Spire, what do those 2 things combined usually mean? Broodlords. 3 Hallucinated Phoenix. Oh, wow. Really wants to get a Scout. Oh, geez. Oh, it's a hive and it's 17 mutas. So not 20, because he had to afford a hive after all. Does he not have enough larvae? He's supply blocked. That's why he's not making as many mutas as humanly possible, but that is a plan. He has multiple plans here, and the first one really to be executed is going to be the mass mutas. Until then, not much has gone on in this game to determine who's going to win, but these mutas could very well determine that. I think the mutas were seen by something or another, because second target goes down. Fleet Beacon was already on the way, perhaps thinking of just late game, but second target, he knows the mutas are here. What can he do to defend against it, though, initially? Cannons are down, shield better is being added. But against that many mutas, even without upgrades, it's not going to last very long. Mass warping of Stalkers right here, but no Blink and only a couple of Phoenix really to help out. 7 probes go down instantly, 8 probes go down. He's going to go for a 9th, 10th, 11th. The mutas are getting awfully low in that health, however, and they can be chased down at least a little bit by the Phoenix. Was that actually worth 12 probes? Considering that Lambo was on 5 bases and attacking to the 4th base as well, I think it was. Like, money is just not an issue for this kid right now. DNS's entire job is just to hold on so that eventually he gets to an almost maxed out supply, and then hope to God Lambo isn't already on Broodlords. But that is an option for Lambo. There it is, started right now. Greater Spire on the way. He's going to have +3 melee on those Broodlings, by the way. Oh no! Oh God, the Massacre. I don't know if he can get the Nexus with that, but he's going to go for the probe, so it doesn't matter. 2 Oracles also caught in the crossfire a little bit. Nothing to block the Banelings over here. And oh no, the pull! Oh no, there's no escape to the south. There's no escape to the south. Oh. I mean, all the Phoenix take all the mutas. But DNS just went down to 28 probes, I think, right there. And I can build 4 at a time. Ouch. You know, I think until it hit the natural, DNS was still in an okay spot. But hitting that natural like it did, which had also the 3rd base probes, that was a disaster. That was not so good. DNS tried so hard as well to make sure that stuff that couldn't happen. He's got a wall over here. He had army here, but obviously he was a little sidetracked by this. Like, you know, it was just the one area that he had nothing there. So all the Banelings came in. Really sucks. Now, the good news is the Phoenix can temporarily take control of the map here. There's enough of them. You know, the mutas are all dead. And Corruptors, even if they're building, they're kind of slow, so you can run away from them. So they're going to try and do what they can. Take out some roaches. Maybe, again, some scouting would be nice. But I don't see a Warp Prism right now, even though DNS is moving out. A huge Ling run by with +2 Lings, and they're going to have a Adrenal Gland as well as on the way. It's going to force a recall of about half of that army, but that's just because recall is really small. He means to retreat. He wants to retreat. That 3rd base barely has any units to actually kill here for the Lings. They're going to be stuck on that cannon for a little while. The Phoenix are still trying to grab whatever queens they can, but Broodlords are on the way. Lambo out-teching DNS right now as DNS struggles to get his economy back. He has a Fleet Beacon, he has Stargates, but he doesn't have gas, he doesn't have minerals, he cannot go into Tempests, and even if he can afford 1, 2, or 3, Lambo can easily afford, you know, many more Corruptors and Spellcasters and whatever else he wants. DNS is in trouble. He's got to try and keep up the pressure. He's got to try and buy more time for his economy to be recovered, but Lambo's going to consistently send Lings across the map, and they're going to be better upgraded as time goes on. 3-1. With Adrenal Glands finishing up right now as they head into that 3rd base, which is totally undefended. And DNS is definitely feeling a little bit desperate. Phoenix actually find a surprisingly low Corruptor count. They could try focus firing on top of the Broodlord. Storm actually hits them as well, weakening them up just a little bit. Hold on here. Can DNS do it with this army? I wouldn't think so. And he's going to lose his 3rd base at the same time. Warp Prism should also go down here, so no more reinforcements. This is not going to be the miracle attack, although it looks promising to start off with. DNS is forced to retreat, but back to what type of economy? Not a very good one. He gets 14 drones and doesn't even get a hatchery. Okay, I take it back. He gets a hatchery, but still. Lambo's on 5 bases with now what I think is an unbeatable army. 8 more Corruptors on the way. No gap with the Phoenix actually winning that battle, I don't believe. And the Broodlords, even if they would be taken down, would take out the army along with them. GG. Lambo kind of playing that game like a fiddle a little bit. Very frustrating if you look at it from the Protoss' perspective, because nothing really did happen. You tried your best to do some harassment, and it didn't really work. I would say it didn't work. I was really impressed with how active he was with his Adepts and Oracles and whatnot, but it just didn't work. 4 drones, right? That's kind of all that happens. No stasis traps. No surprise queen pickoffs. Like, ultimately didn't do very much. But, like, it's okay. Like, you're also macroing pretty well. Nothing's happened to you by that point either. So, like, maybe you're doing okay. And then once you start to get ready, everything just goes to shit, like, instantly. And then you just feel like you can't do anything. Very frustrating. Frustrating is the Protoss players in the chat. Zerg players are just going to be like, no, it was a masterpiece. Alright, he was the conductor in front of the band and he did everything correctly. And, well, you're not wrong. I'd say that's kind of a... almost perfect way of handling a game like that. Players who actually know how to use the lobby link are the best players. Yeah. And we're on Triton. In the top left, it's DnS. In the bottom right, it's Lambo. That's for you, chicken man. That's to all my homies out there who apparently only listen to audio. Here, Marine is currently facing Koss in the bracket. Goblin is facing Fuser. We're in Lambo versus DnS. Special has 2-0'd Soul. And Showtime has 2-0'd Bly. Thermal eventually got the 2-1 over TLO. Clem beat someone I don't really know. But that person did beat Mono, so they're a good player. And a Laser 2-0'd Rail. That is your update. So still quite a bit of the round of 16 to finish up here, but we do have some people looking towards the semifinals, which I believe will be cast. Both semifinals will be cast. Just to fill some of the downtime as nothing is happening. I'm just gonna go ahead and just open up the good old StarCraft Reddits. Until something interesting happens. I think that's fair. Alright, nothing good on StarCraft Reddit. Regular Reddit it is. Couple lings on the way, 2 queens, probe doing some serious micro, up and then stopped. And then it stopped. Pretty perfectly timed though. Chrono on the Adept, and now we're just gonna wait for that tech structure. Is it gonna be a Stargate? Give me the Stargate, it's gonna be a Stargate. Give me the Stargate, give me the Stargate. No, actually, it's Twilight Council. Interesting. So Warp Gate does start. Twilight Council is 50 less gas than a Stargate. So can Lambo, with his 1,000 IQ, with his very wrinkled brain, determine that that Warp Gate was too fast to be a Stargate? I don't know. Special plane from Korea? I think he is, yes. Alright, Stalker follow-up's gonna be a bit different. already might be telling him it's something other than Stargate if the warp gate timing didn't already. Thank you very much. Overlord's gonna be able to get in and check though. Like if it really wanted to, it would see that it's a Twilight Council and a Robo. Ah, throwback. Classic. Gonna go into the quick Dark Shrine Archon drop. Now, the 2 gases would be taken literally right now with a Stargate. As I was saying last game, I think that's actually just all Stargate builds. Unless there's some wacky ones I don't know about. So that's kind of giving a hint to Lambo. He is building a Spore Crawler. Obviously, that could also be for a Stargate potential, but he's going to see for sure it's on a Stargate now. He's going to see 3rd gas taken, 4th gas taken around 4 minutes, and most importantly, he's actually just going to be able to see that everything is right there. Look at that. Oh my god, it's a Dark Shrine. Oh my god. That's so weird. That's so crazy. Lambo did not go for a particularly fast layer. That was kind of in the meta for a while, alongside when Archon drops were more in the meta. Hit a faster layer, actually deflected it with Overseers. Fell out of the meta, and we even have later layers now. I guess the more Korean way to play is to get some later layers, like 415, 420 or something, I don't know. So Lambo responds to it with a layer, but one that was also probably meant to be put down. More importantly, he repositions the Spore Crawlers that are available, finds the Warp Prism with his Queens, with his Lings, readily available, with that detection. Barely gets Creep Tipper down. Oh my god. Oh! And a Queen will go down here. 1 DT, very injured. Actually, that was killed? Whoa, I thought that was... It was like an orange, and I thought it was fine, but that actually died. Well, not too bad then for Lambo. Perfect response. A little lucky on the Overlord Scout, to be honest, because the Stalker really should have been stopping that from seeing everything. Not that Lambo wasn't checking off everything that it couldn't and could be, just with the information he had, but to get a very blunt scout in about 30 seconds before the Dark Shrine was finished, that's a Zerg's dream right there. Gets a confirmation on a 3rd Nexus as well, and this doesn't necessarily mean DNS is totally macering. A little bit supply locked right now, but it's probably a good indication. 2 base follow-ups do exist off an Archon drop, but are very easily scouted. You literally just see, no 3rd Nexus. But he is macering actually only up to 50 probes, prioritizing getting those gateways down first, which is actually very good right now. Unfortunately, what's not good, he has resources to build units. He doesn't know what units he really has to be building. Lambo, supply block, thanks to losing an Overlord, is going for a Spire. And while the Archons are going to be fine against the Spire, obviously, no Blink, no Stalkers. How many Archons can you really afford while getting anything else you're trying to get here? You know, Sentries especially. The only thing Sentries are going to be useful for, 1 for Guardian Shield, and then maybe 1 or 2 for Hallucinated Phoenix, if they were scouting literally right now, and they're not. They're kind of derping behind a Stalker. So I am really quite worried for DNS right now. Lambo goes for a couple Spine Crawlers, decides no, doesn't want to go for Spine Crawlers, just kidding. That's fine. Goes for Bailing Nest instead, has the option of a Spire. He knows it hasn't been scouted, but he's not going to use it. I thought that was actually be very scary if he did use it. But you know, how many? I guess he could have only made like 6, which really isn't that scary. Wait, what's happening? Oh, DT in here. Okay. And I guess 6 wouldn't be worth it. I mean, clearly he got it to use it though. Is he going to use it exactly like last game? Get it and then wait until a random time to build like 20 at once? Alright. I mean, just having a Spire is so stupidly scary for a Protoss player. They're just sitting there like, are you going to use it? Aren't you going to use it? Are you going to use it? Aren't you going to use it? DNS is actually hitting, without these extra gases taken, no Storm, but very powerful army counts. And even if the mutas are out, their best ability would be to go for the Warp Prism. They would have been out way before this attack, but yeah, they would have been very helpful for the attack. Instead, you're going to get a lot of Roaches and Ravagers and try and hold on here, but no Banelings are available. Even slow Banelings can be so helpful with this push because of all the charge outs coming up to the front. Immortals just slaughtering those Roaches caught in front of those force fields. Archons taking the buffer shots here It will go down eventually, but more roaches on the way. More zealots are also here trying to intercept the roach reinforcements. +1 is done for the roaches, I believe, but still no banelings. And this is getting very, very testy, coming from all different sides. However, Lambo might just take a very good fight here. DnS may be getting a little too overeager, or maybe making the correct decision by going straight for the throw into the natural. War Prism still alive as well. No Queen to take that down. Even a DT in on the action. And no Overseer to actually take care of that. DnS might be cleaned up here, but he did a heck of a lot of damage. 17 drones killed, and a lot of army also traded out here. He's going to be able to save the War Prism, save the Immortals. Hopefully, there we go. But is that actually enough here? Third base for DnS, fourth base for Lambo. DT still hidden. Looks like Lambo does know about it. He's building an Overseer. They're gonna take up the time that maybe could have been a counter, so DnS can try and get something done back at home. There we go, more Archons on the way. I would assume a transfer, yeah, transfer of probe should happen as well with gases. I guess you don't really want to try and get to Storm, right? You actually just want to try and get as many Immortals and units out in case they just counterattack you. Eventually Storm might come down, but we're talking in the future. Right now, Archons take up all the gas. A +2 upgrade takes a lot of gas. There we go, now the gases go down. And here comes that counterattack that was initially held at bay by a single DT a little bit. War Prism also going to try and pick off any freebie roaches it can find, but most importantly, Spire is actually being used. That fourth base actually died. Best observing ever. Best observing ever. But the mutas are here, and even if they don't do, the direct damage here, they don't help out with the army. I don't think they can. Lambo's counter is not going to do anything. DnS had plenty of time to reinforce here. They are going to be in plentiful enough numbers to actually start doing damage to the probe lines. And DnS never once got the scout and the Spire. He has not seen the mutas bulking up. There they are. Oh, no, hold on. Hold on. There they are. And they're going to actually meet the army in the middle of the map. DnS already prepared for a second attack. War Prism goes in a warp-in mode. Could be an opportunity for the mutas to find it, but they will not. It's a bit of a base race. The Roaches find the third base totally unguarded. Just a couple of Zealots don't really matter. More mutas are on the way as Lambo chooses his plan of attack, defense, whatever you want to call it. His plan for this game is probably going to be the base race. Is he going to have enough mutas, though, is my question. He has no spine claws for defense, but DnS also no cans for defense. Nothing to take on the roaches, much less those mutas. This is going to get really weird, but I feel better for the person with the mutas. I really do. He's going to have 16 mutas. That's not actually a lot, and they're not upgraded, though. Very different from, like, 25 mutas and +1 upgrade. I still feel pretty good for Lambo. But can he actually get any drones out is another question. Lots of drones escaped. Okay, there's the answer to that. Enough minerals for a hatchery. DnS has enough minerals for a Nexus, but much harder for him to hide a Nexus with mutas flying around. The entire main base is going to be taken down. I would have maybe gone for the Dark Shrine first, just to make sure no more DTs come into play. Even though you have an Overseer, it's always a little scary. But DnS actually didn't have the minerals to go for DTs, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Hatchery taken to the far right corner. DnS taking his Nexus in the middle right. That's kind of awkward. Lots of base races today. And a couple of Zealots just cleaning up whatever's on the left side. Right side totally cleaned up here. No extractors left over. We're talking about the last few buildings, guys. No observer. Oh, it's actually kind of killer. So much free information there for Lambo. He knows exactly where the army is. You'll get, the movement bonus, I guess, but that really matters for roaches. But he will have that. I mean, this is actually super, super nice. And no observer to go out and try and scout as well. But, I guess you wouldn't want to do that anyways. You have an Overseer. Just Hallucinated Phoenix will do for scouting. Sees one hatchery, and that's about it. Sees it again. Confirmation. One Spore Crawler? Oh, I missed it. I missed it. It's gonna die, though. It's gonna die. It's one hatchery versus one Nexus, guys. Oh, skedaddle. Oh, these meters are forgotten about? Let me try and size up the army here. Let me see. 16 mutas, 28 roaches, 1 Ravager, 6 Lings. Versus 11 Zealots, 6 Immortals, 5 Archons, a DT, 6 Sentries, and I'll count the War Prism because micros are very important. What wins They both have +1 on their most important units. Lambo has a slightly higher army supply, but we're talking about very flimsy units a lot of the time. Immortals against Roaches, who wins that? Archons against Mutas, who wins that? I think the army of Lambo is, or DnS is better. Oh, I don't know about this though. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, well the Mutas cannot take on the Nexus, but they will find a Warp Prism. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, good save at least one probe. Because they could also try and catch the probes. If they killed the probes, that would actually be it. Right? Probes. Where's the second one? Am I blind? Hold on here. It's in the army. That's what I thought. Because DNS is supply blocked. Well, so is Lambo. But he's building. He's building. He's got another hatchery on the way, too. Oh! Oh! No, I missed it! Oh! Best observing, 10 out of 10. The Warp Prism died. I didn't think it would. I thought, honestly, I thought DNS was going to be a little more protective of it. He was kind of given, like the sack of flour that you're given in that stereotypical, like, baby scenario. You take care of a flack of sour, and he just... Sour? Jesus. A sack of flour. Whatever, man. It's early in the morning. Shut up. And he just dropped it. He just dropped it and exploded everywhere. He does have one probe, though, because it's in his army. Oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Sneaky boy! That's it. That is it. I think he was hoping to put assimilators over here, because he can build 2 assimilators. Or 1 pylon, and 2 assimilators is better in this circumstance. But there's no way he can win now. There's no way. This is going to be it. Just right-click on that Nexus. GG. Lambo 2-0 DNS.